Hello there. Thanks so much for joining me today. Continuing on with our month of love for February. This flow is going to be all about making ourselves the priority and just really coming back home and figuring out who we are on the inside. We're going to start this one laying down on our backs. There will be a wide-legged seat, so if you want to grab a block or a bolster, that will help the pose be more accessible and maybe a little more comfortable. But we are going to begin by laying down on our backs. And sending those legs out. And you can bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. Beginning to become aware of the body, the feelings that it has. Gaining a bit of control over that monkey mind here. It may wander. We just want to get it back into our reins. We can do that by simply becoming aware of the breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Showing up is always the hardest part. So go ahead and give yourself an imaginary round of applause. Maybe offer yourself a thank you. And just knowing that you are giving it the best that you've got and that your best is enough. For right this moment, you are the priority. One more round of breath here. Inhale and exhale. We're going to go ahead and hug in that right knee. You can interlace your hands under your knee. Just give it a slight pull. You can point that foot here. It feels good. You can go and straighten that leg. Keeping that interlace of the hands, maybe just lowering it down to the quad, the hamstrings back there. And this time we're going to flex the foot. So coming into that dorsiflex, bringing the toes towards your face here. As always, you can have a slight bend in this knee. No reason to have it straight or overextended. Just finding some nice pulses. Beautiful. When you're done, then go ahead and rebend that knee. We're going to take it across the body. Come into that outer left hip. Take your right arm out to the right and gaze towards it. Your left hand can be on the ground. It could also be on that outer right thigh. 3 rounds of breath. And slowly, we're going to continue to curl over towards the left. And we're going to allow that right knee to come up. So like a half frog here. Forearms on the mat, little sphinx action. Really getting into that inner right thigh. This is also going to get into the left hip flexor. Take one more round of breath here. Beautiful. We're going to thread this left hand under to come onto our backs again. Beautiful. And once you get here and you feel centered, we're going to hug the left knee in. Just interlacing those fingers right under the knee and pointing that foot. Beautiful. And when you're ready, you can straighten that leg. Interlace those hands behind the thigh. And let's go ahead and flex that foot. Once again, this nice little bend in the knees. It's wonderful. Coming back to find those pulses. Beautiful. Go ahead and bend through that knee again. Take it over towards the right, come into that outer right hip. Send that left arm out and take your gaze towards it. This right hand can be on that left thigh if it feels nice for you. Last week we did the affirmations. I have another affirmation that may be more like a long sentence. I'm my priority on purpose. This season is personal. This healing is intentional. We're going to say this a few times, and maybe by the end of it, you'll have memorized it and etched it into your mind. Beautiful. Slowly, we're going to roll over here towards the right, and we're coming into our half frog. So the left leg is in the half frog, upper body is in Sphinx. Gaze is forward, really feeling into that inner left thigh and that right hip flexor here. Beautiful. Slowly threading this right hand back under to bring us back to our backs. We're going to hug the knees here. Maybe lifting the head and giving both of your knees a kiss, because we love ourselves, we love our body, and we are accepting where we are right here and right now. We're going to rock and roll up into a boat. If you don't want to rock and roll, you can just come into a boat. Otherwise, we're going to start to build the heat up in the body here as we are building space inside of the self so that we have room to grow and to heal. And when you're done rocking and rolling, we're just going to come up into our boat pose. You can have your hands behind your hamstrings, out to the side, or behind if this is better for you. Wherever you are, we're going to be all the way here. We're going to focus on the spine. We're going to lift through the crown of the head. We're going to balance on our tailbone. Our feet are pointed. We are actively engaged, not only in the body, but the mind also. We are here for ourselves. We are here on purpose with intention to be nice to ourselves. We're going to take one more round of breath here. And let's sigh to let it all out. Beautiful. Feet come down. We can mermaid them to the side, and we're coming through an all fours position. We're going to take our traditional cat-cow here. So once you get set up, your shoulders should be stacked over the wrist and the hips are over the knees. It should feel nice. We engaged our root by sucking that belly button in to the spine. This engages the core. Beautiful. Inhale, we're going to drop that belly down and lift that gaze up. And on the exhale, we'll round, taking that gaze towards the back of the room. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. And exhale, we round. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Beautiful. Back to neutral. We're going to slowly tuck those toes, walk the hands slightly forward, and we're going to simply send the hips up and then push back. Left heel drops, right heel lifts. Right heel drops, left heel lifts. And other side, left heel drops, right heel lifts. And one more time on the right. And let's come for a bit of stillness for a round of breath. Beautiful. We're going to bend through the knees, pivot the feet over towards the right, maybe lift up through that left hand and send those hips towards those heels. Left hand is up and reaching towards the front of the mat. And back to center. Once we get to center, we're going to go ahead and pivot those feet over towards the left, picking up that right hand and sending those hips towards the heels. Hand plants, pivot back around into our downward dog. Go ahead and come up onto those tiptoes, bend through the knees, gaze comes forward, and we're slowly going to tiptoe the way to the front of the mat. Once you get here, nice bend in the knees. Chest hangs heavy down, thighs come towards the belly, or the belly comes towards the thighs. Grabbing opposite elbows and just finding that nice sway left to right. Really taking the time here just to notice how the body's feeling, getting control of those thoughts, speaking kindness to ourselves, being gentle with ourselves mentally and physically. One more round of breath here. Slowly we're going to come up halfway lift. Lengthen through the spine. Pull those shoulders away from the ears. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, we're going to peel ourselves all the way up to standing. I'm going to take those arms up and overhead. And we'll exhale them down. Heart center. Beautiful. Here we are in our Tadasana, our standing mountain pose. We're going to repeat our affirmation. I'm going to say it slow so that you can repeat it with me. I'm my priority on purpose. This season is personal. And this healing, it's intentional. Beautiful. Inhale those arms down to come up. We're going to grab that right wrist, pull up, and then over towards the left, engaging the glutes and the thighs here. Thinking open and expansive. Inhale back to center. Catch that left wrist. Pull it up and over. One more round of breath. Next inhale brings us up. We'll go and bring those hands to heart center. Beautiful. Inhale those arms down to come up. Maybe take a little back bend here. And we're going to slice through the sky into our forward fold. We're going to plant the hands and we're going to step the left foot back, lower down that left knee. And we're going to come up into our low lunge. You can leave your hands on the mat. You could also stair step them up to your thigh. When you feel good here, you can take your arms up and overhead. Feeling into the hips here. We can pull back and then we can sink them again just to really get into them. We don't have to always come to stillness. We can find a little bit of that movement to deepen the stretch. Beautiful. Hands come down. We're going to push it back, half splits. We're flexing these toes towards our face. We call this the dorsiflex. We're wanting to have the hips nice and square here. Trying to keep that spine as straight as possible. If you have your block nearby, you can always come up on your block here. Just adds a little bit of room. Feels really nice. Beautiful. We'll take one more full round of breath here. Beautiful. Roll back onto that right foot. Next inhale, we'll take those arms back up. Beautiful. Left hand's going to plant beside that right foot. Right hand up and overhead. Easy twist. One more round of breath. We're slowly going to bring this right hand down. Stepping that right foot back. We already have our knees lower. So we're going to lower down through the chest and the chin, hugging those elbows into the rib cage. Inhale, come up to cobra. Tuck the toes and send the hips up. And then push back, downward facing dog. I'm going to take 2 rounds of breath here. Beautiful. Take the gaze up, bend through the knees, and we're going to walk, hop, or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we're pulling all the way up. Arms up and overhead. Exhale them to heart center. We're going to say our affirmation. I'm going to do it like last time, so you can repeat after me. I'm my priority on purpose. This season is personal. This intention, it's this healing, it's intentional. Sorry. Intentional. On purpose. Self. Who are you? Deep inside, you are love. Deeply rooted love. It's sparks, it's flames, it's rainbows. It is joy. And it exists right here inside of you. We just have to have the courage to bring it out and be vulnerable. But we are in control. and we are only in control of self. Beautiful. Inhale those arms down to come up. We're going to catch that right wrist, pull it up, and then over towards the left. Inhale back up, catch that left wrist, pull it up, and then over towards the right. Next inhale is going to bring us up. Reach, 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 reach. Maybe take that slight back bend. And we're going to fold into our forward fold. We're going to plant the hands. We're going to step this right foot back. Lower down that right knee. And when it feels good, we're going to go ahead and come up. If you want to leave your hands on the mat, that's great. If you want to use that block, go ahead and pull it towards you. You could also bring your hands to your thigh. Lots of options here. But if you want, you can take them up and overhead as well. And once again, just really feeling into the hips here. And be coming out of the pose and then pushing forward to really feel into it. Just trying to keep that left knee in line with that ankle. We're not wanting it to splay out to the left. One more round of breath here. And bring the hands down to the mat and push it back, half splits. Finding that dorsiflex in the foot, so pulling it back. Squaring off those hips. Using the block here is your friend. It has multiple levels. Trying to keep that back straight. Gaze forward. One more round of breath here. And slowly we'll come forward. Take those arms back up. Low lunge. And the right hand's going to come down, plant beside the left. Left arm reaches up. Easy twist. One more round of breath. Beautiful. Hand comes down. We're going to step this left knee back. So we are back onto our knees. We're going to lower down through the chest, hugging those elbows into the rib cage. And coming into cobra. Let's meet child's pose. You can have the arms actively reaching forward here. If you want a bit more, you could also come into puppy pose. We'll be here for 3 rounds of breath. And one more round here. Slowly rolling up. Take that right arm up. And we're going to thread it through. This left hand can be reaching forward, or you can find that right thigh. Choice is yours here. We're just going to open up through that left shoulder and stretch in that right shoulder. I'm my priority on purpose. This season is personal. This healing, it's intentional. Your best, it's enough. Slowly release that thigh if you've got it. We're bringing that left hand back down to push up. You can go and take that right arm back up and roll that wrist one way and then roll it the other way. Beautiful. This time left arm goes up and threading it through. And once again, right hand can reach forward, or you can find that left thigh. Choice is yours. We have to drop the expectation of others. Who they want us to be is who they want us to be. We have to figure out what we want to be. From all my time in NA, there's only two things that we control, and that's our actions and our reactions. And you notice that that is only one real thing, and that is self. We only have control of self. Undo that right arm, bring it back to the mat, send that left hand up and take the wrist rolls one way, and then the other way. Beautiful. Reach, and then release. Coming back into that child's pose, arms reaching forward here, forehead towards the mat. You could also take wide-legged child's pose if that feels better for you. Just 3 rounds of breath here. This is your little cave of love, knowing that you can come back to this place at any time. Anytime you feel depleted, come into your love cave and speak kindness. Be gentle to yourself like you would a kid. We all have inner childs inside that are screaming for our attention and to heal them. It is up to us to do that. Slowly we're going to peel up. We're going to tuck the toes and we're going to send those hips up and back, coming in to our downward facing dog. This time we're going to come up onto the toes and we're going to bend through the knees. We're going to take the gaze forward and we're going to hop up there. Doesn't matter how far you get, and then we're going to walk or heel toe the rest of the way. Inhale brings us up, halfway lift. And on the exhale, we're going to fold. Inhale's going to peel us up. Take those arms up and sit back into our chair. You can heel toe those feet together, engaging the glutes and the thighs. Bringing the gaze up here. We're going to bring the hands down to heart center. And we're going to twist over towards the right, just the upper body. We're not hooking the elbow. Feels good. You can open your arms out here. Making sure the knees are staying in line. Tailbone is tucked. Everyone's favorite. And back to center. Go ahead and stand. We're going to bring this right leg up. You can catch it if you like. Otherwise, we're going to use our strength. And then maybe straighten it. And bend. Straighten. Bend. We're going to do it one more time, and let's count for 3, 2, 1. Bend. We're slowly sending it back, warrior 3. Hands are on the hips, keeping the gaze forward, finding that drishti, that gazing point. If you fall, it's okay. The mat's got your back. No one's here to judge you. That's why we have our home practice. And we're going to take a big step back, arms up, high lunge. Smiles on faces here. Gorgeous. Hands come down. We're going to take a vinyasa. If you want to do knees, chest, chin, be my guest. Or we can do chaturanga, up dog. We're all going to meet downward facing dog. I'll just take 2 rounds of breath here. Beautiful. Bend through the knees, come up onto the toes. Take your gaze forward and we're going to hop up there as far as we can get. Walking the rest of the way. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll peel up. Go ahead and take those arms up. And exhale them. Heart center. Beautiful. Inhale those arms up. Heel toe those feet. Sit back chair. Tuck that tailbone. I'm my priority on purpose. This season is personal. This healing, it's intentional. Hands to heart, twist to the left. Once again, those knees are in line. Tailbone is tucked. And maybe open up the arms if that feels good for you. Maybe sink down a little lower. Beautiful. Stand up. Hands to heart. Shift the weight to the right. Pick that left knee, leg up. Using that core, using the legs. Send it out and back. It's okay if it shakes. Straighten and back. Straighten for 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Slowly sending it back. Warrior 3, finding that gazing point. Hands can be on the hips or heart center. We just want those hips to be square. Big step back. Arms up, high lunge. Beautiful job, my friend. Beautiful. Bring the hands down. Step back, plank. We're going to take another vinyasa, your choice. I'll meet down dog. 2 rounds of breath. Slowly roll forward. Come onto the knees. We're coming down into a seat. So we have the block. We're coming into a wide-legged seat. So if you don't like the wide-legged seat, I challenge you to grab a block or 2. Once we get here, we're going to send the legs out. Should feel much better if you normally hate this pose. And once we get here, we're just going to start this way. Little left to right action, really feeling into the side body and the legs. And you're going to feel this pulling in your low back too. That's good. And once you get feeling nice and warm, we're going to slide that left hand down the left leg, right arm up and over. Coming back to that breath. Next inhale brings us up. Right hand slides down that right leg, left hand up and overhead. Really keeping that chest lifted and that gaze up. Inhale brings us back up. And we're going to fold over this left leg. If you're like, yeah, okay, we can bring this right leg in if that makes it feel better. There are always options. But if you're with me here, we're just going to turn that upper body towards that left leg, and slowly we're going to walk our hands over. You may feel this in your low back once again. The hamstrings are connected to all the things in the low back, so we want to make sure that the hamstrings are not overly tight and pulling on the back. And if you don't like the stillness here, you can come and find the pulses here. You can also have a very generous bend in this left leg. Next inhale brings us up. Shifting over, so we're going to turn towards this right leg, slowly walking the hands forward. And of course, as always, we are noticing the difference between the sides here. One's always going to be more open. One side's always just going to feel a little better. And that's okay. Next inhale brings us back up. And everyone's favorite, coming in for pancakes. So slowly walking the hands forward and just coming to the point that feels good for us here. Once again, wherever we are going to be all the way there. We are pulling the feet back and towards the back of the room. We're not allowing them to fall forward. One more round of breath here. Slowly walking that upper body up. We're going to come in for cobbler, so bringing these feet to touch. You can make your diamond as wide or as little as you want. We'll let that option be up to you today. We are going to give these feet a nice little massage first before we fold over them. Maybe a little bit of gratitude here. You know, we don't really tell the feet thank you a lot. And so even if it's once a month, we should be finding a little bit of gratitude for these guys. And when it feels good, you can just hinge from the hips to fold forward here. Coming back to our affirmation here. I'm my priority on purpose. This season is personal. And this healing, it's intentional. And gently we come back up. Just come into an easy seat. So cross those feet in front of you. Go ahead and bring your hands to your knees. Roll the shoulder blades down the back body. Grow the spine nice and tall. Allow the crown to reach up. A little tuck of that chin. Let's go ahead and bring that left hand to the heart. Right hand to our belly. I am love, and I am lovable. I am love, and I am lovable. Hmm. Our quote today comes from William Shakespeare. He says that one touch of nature makes the whole world kin. And I just want you to know that we are all the same. Everyone struggles. And everyone struggles with love, and not only loving themselves, but the love from others. And we just have to find it in ourselves to be love. Like I said, it is our deep rooted love that can change things around us. Hands to heart center and bring them up to your third eye. Namaste. I'm sending you all my love and all my light. Have a wonderful rest of your day.